Hello, everybody, and welcome to a quieter than usual Couch Racing Chronicles. I'll explain why in a minute. But for now, I am Sunny, the Kyle Busch diehard, joined by alongside my fellow friends.
What is up, everybody? My name is Shani. I am the diehard William Byron fan of this podcast.
All right, finally, I made it to the right arena. Ah, shit! This is the wrong recording booth. Fuck. Anyways, hey guys, Checker here. Just got back from Atlanta. What a mess overall, but it was an awesome race. So, without further ado, I won't get into too much, but let's go and have some fun. Let's begin.
Let's get this podcast started.
Of course, a dear shout out to our dear friend ISO for helping us record. And as you may have tell, we are unfortunately down a man today. Our usual host AJ is out for a matter of his own, and I will be substitutingly hosting in his place. He will be back on next week, so no need to worry. Okay. Now with that out of the way, let's talk about how our weekends have gone. For us, half the field died in turn 3, and we were a part of them, and then the car was never really the same. But we technically did get a top 20, so I guess that's good. I don't even know anymore. Please help me. But, what about you guys? How was your Atlanta weekend?
Both my main drivers, William Byron and fucking Ryan Preece, both got turned into that, wreck that you mentioned, which William Byron did not finish the race at all, and Ryan Preece ended up in 15th. So that's how my weekend went.
I feel you there. Well, a weekend's been disastrous for us, but I think there's one particular person here that, has a lot of feelings about how that race ended. Checker?
Man. Okay, riddle me this. How did we go from getting into the big one to actually doing pretty okay and actually almost winning the race until, I guess, teammates decided to team up with each other and just, we were so close. I'm not going to fall down for that. I'm proud of the 16, but I won't get too much into it because we got to talk about that in a bit. Unfortunate for other, free out there as well. Nemechek, unfortunately, caught up in that. Bell eliminated early. The Blade just cannot have any good luck, with super speedways with the crashes. It worries the shit out of me a lot. But I really won't get into too much, but I think that's basically how I sum up my weekend. It was awesome. I guess the Xfinity race was good. I mean, hell, surprise, surprise. Winning a race with Nick Sanchez. That's wow. Okay, and then truck. I don't want to get into trucks because moving on. Anyways, I won't talk too much, but yeah, that's basically how I sum up my weekend.
Alrighty, so let's get a move on into the next segment. This particular segment would usually be for asking AJ a question, but since I'm hosting in his place, it will be to ask Sunny. So, do either of you have a question that you would like to ask me about?
I'm going to let Checker go first on this one.
I literally had to dig. I had to literally think of one on top of the spot because I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I literally forgot that this was a segment. I'm so sorry, but honestly, I don't know what else I can think of besides what was basically the turning point. Like basically, what was the reason why you got to as a NASCAR? What was the reason you got into basically NASCAR and why you chose to have Kyle Busch as your driver for so many years? That's basically my big question.
It's actually a lot more simple than people would think it would be. So growing up, I loved the movie Cars. I don't know how you wouldn't know about it, but I loved the movie Cars, and I would watch it religiously. And when I was younger, my grandparents put on a NASCAR race, and I got enamored with it. I can't exactly remember which one it was, but all I know is that I seemed to fall in love with the sport. And then I saw Kyle Busch and JGR driving the M&M's car, and I'm like, oh, M&M's are pretty cool. Why not I just root for that guy? And then, yeah, like, decade and a half later, like, we're standing on top of the world, even if we're going through hell in RCR, so I don't regret picking my driver. I'm standing by him. So, very good question.
This isn't actually NASCAR related, but if you had to pick one moment from, like, our voice chats behind the scenes, what do you think is the best moment in voice chat?
That's a good question. I had a lot of moments together. I'm trying to pinpoint which one. But you know what? This was way back when. Usually the radio stations that would be calling the race, like Emirates or PRN, sometimes they would have these moments where they like butcher the driver's name badly, and it ends up creating like these hilarious goofs that we just dunk on. It was so funny back then, and like that was just us messing around when we were first dipping our toes into this. So that's particularly one of my favorite moments.
The question is though, what was the best one you heard? That's like actually another question. What was the worst butchering ever that made you like literally laugh your ass off?
Oh, AJ's gonna kill me for this. The 2021 Richmond Fall race where I accidentally pronounced Kurt Busch as Jerk Bush, and then like 10 or 15 laps later, he ended up crashing.
Jerk Bush!
I don't ask how.
You know what? Hey, I think a runner-up nominee is, of course, I'm gonna have to call myself out on this. And Sonny can attest because he was in the VC around the time where AJ was out of Michigan for this. Me literally read off the entry list, like, and here we have Denny Hamlin, driver number 11 for Hendrick Motorsport. Dude, Sonny was crashing out on call because they was crashing on me.
It's JGR, not Hendrick.
Yeah, I remember that VC. Dude, Sonny was crashing out. He's just like, what?
I was terrified.
All right. Does anyone else have any more questions for Mr. Sonny over there?
Well, I'm trying to like think. Actually, all right. I think one more for me and one more for me.
Okay. Okay. So two more for you. Got you.
Okay, you get what I mean though. Anyways, my question is, basically my last question is. This is basically a two-part question. What do you think was the best, in your hot take, was the best Kyle Busch paint scheme back his time at JGR and his current time right now at RCR?
Fair question. The JGR one is really difficult to answer because there were a lot of schemes that I remembered really loving. Back in the day. There was a lot of schemes I remember loving, but a lot of the M&M's ones, the Skittles ones, the Interstate Batteries ones, there was just too many to count. I can't specifically pinpoint one, but the RC1, RCR, the 3-sheet scheme. I love the way the black and gold look, and I really thought it was just a masterpiece. But then we couldn't run it anymore. But the 7-Eleven cars have filled in a hole in my heart, and as well as Cheddar's. Cheddar's my beloved. So there's the question there.
Do you have anything, Channy, do you have any other questions, or are you good to go?
I think I'm good to go. So, with Ask Sonny out of the way, let's move on to green flag, red flag, shall we?
Alrighty, so first topic. This is not in our.
Hey! I'm reading them.
Oh, okay, but I have to read one that actually isn't part of the notes. So.
Oh, all right. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's fine. It's fine. This is
My
breaking
apologies.
news from a couple of days ago. Trackhouse Racing announces they are parting ways with Daniel Suarez at the end of the 2025 season. And now rumors speculate about where he would go, including a possible ride swap between he and Connor Zilic with Junior Motorsports to drive the number 88 in the Xfinity Series. I will go. Actually, which one of you wants to go first? I don't know who to pick for this one.
You know what? I'll let Checker go because he knows much more than me.
So the thing with honestly, I just want to get out. Just want to get out of the way and say this now. This was really like I said. This happened like this news broke out like a couple of days before after our other host AJ wrote out the notes. I'm really shocked. I'm really not shocked that this is happening. Of course, because we knew this was coming up very soon. We just we had to like embrace it. Daniel just had Daniel. He's done a lot for the of course for Trackhouse and that '99 team, but I just had a feeling I think it was just time for Trackhouse to move on, and Daniel also to part ways and do his own thing, move on to something bigger or whatever he feels is comfortable. I've heard a lot of rumors, going around of who's going to take over the '99, where Suarez going, and like somebody said earlier, having Cotter, of course, possibly switching sides, of course, and then having Zilic, take over the '99 at like I said, a young age. Wait, I don't know if he's gonna be like. I know he's gonna be 18. I think he's gonna be I think he's gonna be 18, maybe going to 19 when going to that cup ride. But if that's the case, and Suarez does switch over to the '88, I'm obviously I'm a little like I'm on the yellow flag, of course, because actually no, I'm not on the yellow flag. I'm on red flag because it's unfortunate for Suarez for what he's done, of course, with Trackhouse and all that, but honestly, it's just a little too early to bring Connor up to the Cup Series. He's only ran one full season of Xfinity currently this year, and I just think that it's just too early to get Connor up there, but I get it. This is one of Trackhouse's top prospects, along with Shane Van Gisbergen, who currently have an actual decent season in the '88, mind you, and a little lucky win at Mexico City. But I just don't think it's gonna be. I just really think that Connor going to the '99 is just way too early. I think they should at least give him another year in Xfinity. For Daniel's case, if they decide to switch him over to Xfinity, I don't think it'd be a problem, especially if he's going with Junior Motorsports in the '88. I think that's a good step for Daniel. Honestly, if that's a step, I think that's a good kind of downgrade step. Daniel was a former Xfinity champion, and I truly think that there are going to be some improvements. Of course, there's going to be a lot of new changes. Of course, going from Cup to Xfinity is kind of shitty and a downgrade, but I think in the end, whatever the result is going to be, of course, I can't tell what Trackhouse is going to do next year and silly season and all that bullshit, but all I know is that I'm on the red flag for this one. This was so unexpected. Like I said, this was unexpected for some fans, but it was also expected for some of us because literally we knew this was coming. So I have no further explanations. So yeah, I'm red flag though.
You pretty much just said my thoughts on the matter. Going on red flag. I truly love Daniel Suarez. I love getting behind the guy, and just I was elated for him and his successes, his Xfinity Series championship, his first career wins, and then the win in Mexico City Xfinity Series. It's just it's really hard just seeing a guy you root passionately for just not not finding the same glimpses of success as his teammates are. Like Chastain is like a wheelman there for the team, the signature driver, and then SVG has been showing off road course prowess with the win in Mexico City. It's just really, really crushing, but at the same time, it's just he doesn't have that oomph his teammates have, and I'm really hoping he finds a better ride down in Xfinity Series to elevate and regain his confidence. Like the 88 for Junior Motorsports would be a really good way of possibly getting his mojo back, and then who knows what can happen from there. Maybe he crushes it up and then he restarts over, or maybe he stays down in Xfinity like a Justin Allgaier move or Elliott Sadler, and then just see what goes from there. So like it really sucks, but at the same time, I love Daniel Suarez, and I just hope he gets that opportunity to regain himself and rebuild himself and get his way back up to a competitive level. So, red flag on this one. Channy?
Yeah, Channy.
All of you just kind of explained, like everything. So I think I'm just going to be on the same boat here. I'm just going to throw my red flag up in the air.
All right. Actually, before we continue onwards with the actual, before Channy reads off the first actual question for green flag, red flag, I have to ask Sunny an extra question about this whole ordeal. I know AJ brought this up, but he's not here to talk about it. But he brought up an idea of like Allgaier, of course, ran the Daytona 500 with the open entry with the 40 team for JRM. If Daniel decided to go, to JRM next year with the 88, do you think that Daniel Suarez might maybe possibly do an entry list, like an entry into the Daytona 500 with that same 40, JRM 40 like Allgaier did?
I don't see why not. I mean, if they're able to work out the JRM deal, then you could still put Daniel in a car he can win in, and then a race he could win in where anybody can win at, and then if he ends up winning that race, that gives like some sort of consideration for other teams to stay on the lookout for him just in case things improve. So like, I'd be on board with it. I'd like to see it happen.
All right, that's cool though. I just thought about it when we were just talking about this. But anyways, now we can officially begin green flag, red flag. So, Channy, without further ado, let's get down to business.
Okay. Green flag, red flag. All right, boys, you ready?
Yep.
And I know exactly who the first person that I'm going for. Brad Keselowski comes so close to the win at Atlanta on Saturday and said over the radio, "I just needed a teammate." You know exactly who I'm gonna call here. Checker, green flag, red flag.
Shit. I knew this was coming. Okay. All right. So obviously, I'm red flag. Of course, I'm just gonna get that out of the way. I'm red flag. I'm really. Actually, here's the thing. I'm just. It's not like I'm mad though. I'm just disappointed that we were so close. We've been showing the much we can, And that time it wasn't even bad luck. That was just unfortunate. Not enough time to get there, of course, to catch up to Elliott. But I'm not mad at the fact. I'm happy for Brad. That was probably one of the best races I've seen out of that 6 for a while. That was one of the best ones I've seen out of performance-wise overall this year from Brad and the team. But I still gotta ask, if we just had time, I just think, and we had our teammate, I just think we could have got there, before Elliott. But obviously, I can't judge. It's super speedway racing. It's not going to always work out in your favor. But I'm it's going to sting me for a while because I'm happy that it was one of the best performances I've seen out of that 6 the whole time. But now it's like, I don't know what to say. Like, what else do we need to do, That's basically the question. Like, what else do we need to show? Because we got the consistency and we got the speed. The question is, though, what is next for the 6 team? Like, what else we need to do? That's basically all I could say for Atlanta. But all I say is we were so close. I'm proud of whatever the result was. I'm really surprised that we did not DNF after that big one. That's really what surprised me. But we came back and finished second. I'm still proud of that result. But I can't say anything further. I just hope that we can continue our luck with Brad moving forward, coming up to Chicago and forward. And yeah, obviously, I'm just red flag how it is turned out. But hey, you do what you gotta do. I'm not. Like I said, I'm past the peg button at that point. So yeah.
All right, Sonny.
I feel too much for his pain. That was our situation last year in the 2024 Coke Zero Sugar for 100. Lost out on getting the win when didn't get the push, and Harrison Burton won. So I know a thing or two about that bad work break. So I'm red flag here. It's really, really gutting to have a win slip away from like that in the nature of Super Speedway racing, but I like to think of this at the bright side. So he's been on a run of, I think this is his third straight top 10 for Brad Keselowski. So he's showing really good stride and consistency right now. So if he puts together runs like these, like, I'm not sure about the road courses, but like the intermediates, and then possibly we got the one last Super Speedway at Daytona before the regular season ends. If he can put together a winning performance there, then there's still time for his season to turn around. Like, RFK has been on a really dominant flare, and if they have the right things fall their way, then I could see them winning a race, especially Brad. He's the hungriest out of them for a win, so I'm red flag on how this race went down, but I'm hopeful that they can push things around.
I am going to jump on the same boat as well with the red flag because because you brought up a point where RFK has been dominant these last three races. Like you got two RFK top 10s, and then Brad Keselowski with a top 3 and Chris Buescher in the top 9. I think that's kind of like a win-win for RFK. Well, with Ryan Preece being in 15th, just like how I mentioned earlier in the episode. If like what Checker said, if there was like a little bit more time and Buescher found a way to maneuver himself to Brad Keselowski and draft him to the win, I think that'll be something for both RFK boys. But for now, I'm gonna say red flag. All right. Denny Hamlin triggers a massive wreck on lap 69 that collected over 14 cars, including 3 of the 4 Penske cars. Who do I want to go for? I'm gonna go with Checker on this one again because he's been Team Penske ever since his career.
Oh man! obviously red flag because that big one was like really scary to watch. Honestly, that was really nerve wracking. I remember Sunny was like, we look over, we're just like, oh shit, the big one happens, bro. I swear to God to you. First off, I honestly feel so bad for Austin Cindric because he literally won stage 1 and then he's out the next. Then Logano, fortunate had DNF as well. But the thing that worries the shit out of me, and Sonny is going to have to probably agree with me on this, though the crashes when Blaney goes nose first to the wall always scares the shit out of me because I swear that I don't want to say concussion protocols, but that's getting me like nervous every time, Blaney slips to that wall. Like it worries me every time in that 12 wall. But unfortunately, I can't. Obviously, you can say the thing about all the drivers on the field. It's really scary feeling, But it's unfortunate. Obviously, it's red flag because obviously it's unfortunate because you really can't go anywhere. It's a massive wreck. But the way it was, dude, I think besides on the field. I heard like on pit road all the tow truck. It was a clusterfuck seeing all the tow trucks, like all bunched up together. You can't move anywhere. But there's really nothing to say. It was unfortunate, and just unfortunate day. Also, it fucked up the guys match as well. It fucked up everyone's tournament bracket. It fucked up everybody's. Literally. That tournament bracket, literally, big one happens, and no perfect brackets. So, take that scenario in your head. Take that scenario in your head for this red flag. Ty Dillon winning over Denny Hamlin in that tournament bracket. But that's besides the point. It's just unfortunate, and I obviously can't really say much except red flag, of course, for a big one. It's a scary feeling for the drivers, and yeah.
Sonny?
Number 1 seed, everyone. Just letting everyone know. That's the number 1 seed triggering that pile up. Red flag. There's not much else that could be said. Although this, if you look at replay, this was just an outside line jamming up and then a trigger reaction causing a lot of these cars to be destroyed, which really sucks because there were a lot of good guys taken out, and we never really got to see what could have been if a lot of these guys stayed in the race. So, really unfortunate to have a lot of these guys' days end up like that. So, yeah, that sucks. And Blaney with these hits, I really don't want to be that guy, but I don't know how much he can take, or if he's really been fighting through these concussions, or at least something along the lines. It's just really hard to tell. Red flag.
I don't need to say anything else, but red flag on this topic as well. All right, the next topic. TJ Putcher agrees to buy Rick Ware Racing in support to make a team a 3-car team by 2027. Green flag, red flag, Sonny.
Okay, well, this one is going to be one of the first ones I don't have to put a red flag on because I'm going yellow flag. Because I don't know who this guy is. Like,
so basically, apparently, from what I read on Red, apparently, he used to be a former co-owner of Spire Motorsports before he basically went off and did his own thing or something like that.
Yeah. So, I just don't know how to feel about this one. Like, he's gonna take the lowest competitive running full-time team, and then turn it into a 3-car team within 2 years, and then what happens now? Does he go off and leave the team for himself after that, or does he continue a long-time ownership? Or I don't have much information on this to know what exactly the plan is with this, so I'm going yellow flag simply because I'm already overusing the red flag, so I just need more time to pass before I can make full judgment.
I agree. For right now, I'm gonna say a yellow flag on this because I'm not sure how it's going to work out because you already got the main 2 of RCR, which is Kyle Busch and Austin Dillon. So I'm not sure how they're gonna do the 3, 3 cars for RCR. So
Wait, back up a second.
What?
Hold. You said RCR, not Rick Ware Racing.
We're bad, but not that bad.
I was confused. Wait a minute. What do you mean Kyle Busch said Rick Ware Racing?
I'm done.
Basically, to sum it up, yellow flag for him. But I'll explain it better for some people since I read a little bit more into this. Since AJ's obviously AJ, if he was here, he would explain better. But I'm going to try to basically explain it better. Apparently, TJ wants to basically buy the team, make it a freeway. Almost. That sounds so wrong. Okay. 3-car team. Basically wants to go. Apparently wants to have. I think it's Rick Ware also gets a part take. He also I think it's a co-ownership between TJ and Rick. I know Cody Ware was supposed to still be on the team as a driver. That's all I know. The two other teams, I don't know yet. Because it's just a clusterfuck how they have this whole charter system, stuff. But, Sonny, this might pique your interest, but I read a thing where it's like, think about it, though. What if this is a stepping stone for Rick Ware, to get free car team, and then the possibility of Dodge, coming back into the series, coming back to the Cup Series. Do you think that maybe that's the reason? Probably why Rick Ware Racing, Rick Ware Racing is going to be, trying to be converted to a free car team to maybe switch manufacturers debuting, or what do you think?
I guess that could be the reason, but no, I think that's just it. I mean, that would have to be the reason this would be pulling off. So we have 2 years, so we'll have to see what happens. But for now, we're going into this blind.
Basically going into blind, yeah, because I know Jimmy Johnson is trying to buy a free team as well with Legacy. I don't go off top, but I was just explaining how much this whole charter agreement's going. Because remember a couple. Actually, now that you think about this. Actually, Legacy is trying to get free teams. Rick Ware is trying to get free teams. Realistically, think about it. They were in a little bit of a hassle with some lawsuit stuff. Maybe there's some kind of thing going on. I'm not sure, but whatever the case is, I'm yellow flag on the topic either way. So I won't go into silly season or theories, but that's pretty much me. I have no other information to say except yellow.
I apologize. My brain is all over the place today. So, moving on with the final topic for shit. Hold on. I dropped my phone. Okay, here we go. Should Atlanta be moved to the 4th of July weekend? Green flag, red flag. I'm gonna go with Sunny on this one.
Green flag. I mean, why not? It's all right. Well, most fans would know that for the longest time, the 4th of July weekend was always associated with Daytona, and then of course noise ordinance laws have unfortunately had to move the weekend away. We had it at Indianapolis for one brief year, and then it was Road America, and then it got shafted to Chicago. So it's kind of all over the place. There's never really been a set location or tradition ever since Daytona. So you take a track that is beloved. The racing is a mixture of the exciting draft packing, but then also car handling and a little bit of skill and timing. And you take a really popular location, Atlanta in the Southeast. So I think it'll be really fun. Like, you could rebuild a new 4th of July tradition. It'll always be history with me at Daytona, but I would also be down for Atlanta. So I'm green flag on this.
Checker, what about you, my man?
I mean, obviously I'm green flag as well. It's an awesome idea. I love the concept. A race at 4th of July, hell yeah, let's do it. I think it would work out perfectly, honestly, on a 4th of July weekend. Atlanta's a great track, of course, giving up that excitement, that American feel. That'd be an awesome idea, in my personal take. You have a lot of other tracks you could use, but I think Atlanta is a great choice, in my personal opinion, because we've already seen the racing, of course, last week, and that was probably the best ending I've ever seen for a race in a long time, except, yeah. But, I think it's a good idea. Basically, in short terms, America, green flag.
I agree with the both of you gentlemen. Green flag on this one because, I think like Checker said, it brings out like a certain America feel with Atlanta being on the 4th of July weekend if it was moved to the 4th of July weekend. So, yeah, it's a green flag for me. All right, boys. You know what it's time for next. Sunny, take it away.
My God, we're already almost done. Wow. Okay. All right. Well, it is time for Chicago Street Course picks.
Me home tracky.
Yes, indeed. So, no truck picks. We are doing Xfinity and Cup Series. So, starting off on the Xfinity side of things, oh wow. I will start off. By picking. You know what? Let's do something wild. It's Connor Zillich to win the Xfinity race, and then my dark horse for Xfinity will be Kaz Grala.
Oh, all right.
I guess before we get down to the other picks, Sonny doesn't. Oh wait, no, never mind. Actually, continue. Sorry.
And then in the Cup Series, I know we all have our thoughts about him, but he's been a little bit on the cold side, but I think this is the track he needs to get right back in it. And I've learned about picking Kyle Busch for my picks. It will go horribly wrong, so I'm staying away from RCR as much as I can. But for my Cup pick, I will pick the other Kyle Larson. And for my Cup dark horse, how about a Ricky Stenhouse Jr. dark horse? I know, that's crazy.
Oh my god, that's crazy. But I was crazy once. They locked me.
No.
I guess before we continue onwards with me and Channy, did you want to also read off our other host's pick while we're waiting?
Yes, indeed. Let me scroll up. All right. For AJ's picks, he has passed this on. For Xfinity, his pick to win is SBG, and his dark horse is Alex LeBay. And then his Cup pick, he is going Christopher Bell, and his Cup dark horse is Will Brown if he does not DQ. With that, I pass this on to you two.
So, for my Xfinity pick, give me Taylor Gray.
Okay.
And for my dark horse, it's going to be the same person as last week. Give me Brandon Jones as my dark horse.
Alrighty then.
And for my Cup pick, well, he won this last year. Give me Alex Bowman.
Oh.
And for my dark horse, you know what? Give me Riley Herbst for my dark horse.
Uh-oh.
What? Am I gonna get bashed for it?
Not again. Okay. Checker, finish us off.
Honestly, I had to think about this very carefully on this. So, you know what? I'm gonna go a little bold on this. My pick for Xfinity, it will be William Sawalich. And my dark horse is going to be Parker Retzlaff.
William Sandwich.
Ain't no way you picked William Sawalich.
You know what? I have to change up the beat. Anyways.
Your Cup pick?
My Cup pick... Ooh, I'm thinking of two names right now in the back of my head. I'm literally thinking of the two names in the back of my head. But you know what? I'm gonna go for somebody you don't actually expect, to be up there.
Injury.
No. Give me AJ Allmendinger as my pick.
Oh,
I mean, he's a road course ace.
And for my dark horse, if he does not this is if he does not DQ, give me Corey Hyman in the 67.
Hey.
interesting.
And that is our picks for Chicago. Wow, this episode. Wow, holy shit! This episode is already almost done.
Yeah, this episode was actually a bit short.
Well, I mean, circumstances had to make this a little bit short, but regardless, we hope you all enjoyed listening. Be sure to have a fun Chicago weekend. If you have happy 4th of July plans, go and celebrate them. Oh, as always, as our dear host Dave here would say, drink your fucking water. And with that, we will close off. This is Sonny, the Kyle Busch diehard, signing out.
This is Shanny, the William Byron diehard, signing out for now, and we will catch you guys on the flip side.
This is Checker, and we will see you in the next episode. We are off and away, racing 2 for the city of Chicago. Make sure I'm my bulletproof vest. Anyways, I'll talk to you all later. This is it for the Couch Racing Chronicles, and we will see you next episode recapping Chicago. See you all later. Bye-bye.
Me old Tracky!